Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, a game that just about everyone wrote off as a bad idea when they first heard of it, and yet here we are, just after the game's launch, and everyone is amazed at just how good this game is. Functionally, the game plays like XCOM, or in other words, it's a turn-based strategy game, but with an emphasis on movement and cover shooting. However, the further you go with Kingdom Battle, the more it feels like you're playing a puzzle game. Each battle represents a unique challenge, and you need to come up with a solution on the fly for each. But by far and away, my favorite aspect of Kingdom Battle is how the game looks and feels. There is an incredible amount of detail and attention given to Mario, the Mushroom Kingdom, and Nintendo's history in general. But at the same time, it doesn't feel like an actual Nintendo game. The ways in which the characters communicate, the gun-based gameplay, the skill trees with perks and abilities, and the loot to unlock. It's all very modern and unlike Nintendo. But when you combine these modern game design principles with the love for all things Nintendo, you create a title that feels an awful lot like a fan project. And that's the feeling I get with Kingdom Battle. It may be a AAA game produced at Ubisoft with a huge budget, but it never stops feeling like a passion project. It's the ultimate fan game. Let me explain. When you hear the term fan game, what do you think of? Maybe it's a fan-made Pokemon ROM that you can play in an emulator filled with original fan-designed Pokemon. Or perhaps it's a fan tribute like Black Mesa, designed to recreate the original Half-Life. However, my favorite fan games are those that do something different. They're the type of games that would never be made by the original creators. Games like Super Mario 64 Online. Here we have an incredible project that gives fans of Mario 64 something new, and while it's full of fun references for Mario fans, it's also something that Nintendo themselves would never make. That's what I see in Mario plus Rabbids. It's a game filled with love for all things Mario, but feels like something Nintendo would never make. A great example are the ways in which the characters communicate. True to Nintendo's tradition, Mario does not speak, but other Mushroom Kingdom residents definitely do, and they've been characterized in new ways. For example, Bowser Jr. is given a cell phone, and he's dealing with daddy issues. He's out to prove that he can be bad without his father. Now, it may sound like a simple gag, but it's actually the most elaborate motive for a villain in a Mario game in a very long time, and it's something you wouldn't see Nintendo write into a traditional Mario game. Another important part of any fan game are all the references to the source material, both hidden and in plain sight. It's the stuff that fans just can't get enough of, and when it comes to Nintendo, Kingdom Battle is filled with it. From locations that refer to Mario's past, to weapons named after classic Mushroom Kingdom items, the game is brimming with playful references to all things Mario. But the best homage to Nintendo is found in the game's soundtrack. Ubisoft tasked legendary composer Grant Kirkhope with crafting the music of Kingdom Battle. Best known for his work on Banjo-Kazooie and Donkey Kong 64, Kirkhope is a self-proclaimed Nintendo fan, and he's leveraged classic Nintendo music in amazing ways in Kingdom Battle. For example, this is the first major boss encounter in the game, set against Rabbid Kong, the terrible amalgamation of Donkey Kong and your average rabbit. It's a big moment in the game, and the soundtrack is equally epic. But don't take my word for it, let the music do the talking. If that melody sounds familiar, it's because the song makes use of a classic Donkey Kong melody, a song known as Jungle Hijinks, first heard on the Super Nintendo. By taking these pieces of classic Nintendo songs and reimagining them in brilliant new ways, Kirkhope is able to play off of our nostalgia, all while creating something entirely original. It's effective, and the songs composed for Kingdom Battle are just as exciting as the classics. Overall, it's a soundtrack fitting for the ultimate fan game. And finally, Kingdom Battle manages to do something that few official Nintendo games get away with these days, and it's one of my favorite parts of the game. Kingdom Battle is hard. Not unfair, not brutal, but a challenge. You will actually have to master your team and learn how to predict enemy behavior in order to beat the game. This is important because most official Nintendo games are designed to allow most players to beat the game, then delivering the challenge in endgame content. This is why the credits roll in Super Mario 64 after 70 stars and not the full 120. This way, more casual players can enjoy the bulk of the game while leaving the real challenge for more hardcore players. This is not the case in Kingdom Battle. In order to complete the main game, you will need to learn how to adapt and master the battle system, and it can be quite the challenge. Honestly, it's refreshing. The difficulty makes the game more addictive, and it would be a lot less fun if each fight felt like a cakewalk. More importantly, it's something that probably won't happen in an official Nintendo game, or at least not a game with Mario in the title, and you guessed it, this attitude towards difficulty makes it feel more like a fan game. Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle is a great example of two companies taking a risk and hitting the jackpot. Kingdom Battle feels like a game that was made by a group of Nintendo fans determined to make their own mark on Mario, and that's precisely what we got. It's a game that Nintendo might never make, but it's one that Nintendo fans and players of all kinds will enjoy.